Michael Myers spent the last 40 years in captivity.
I have prayed that he would escape, so I can kill him. He's waited for this night. He's here. He's waited for me. Michael!
Rated R.
Welcome back to the 31 Days of Spooks. My name is Dylan Goebel, and today I'm talking about Halloween, released in 2018. The film was directed by David Gordon Green, and it stars Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role from the original Halloween as Laurie Strode. And this time, she's much older. It's retconning Halloween 2 and any other subsequent sequel. And this time, she's prepared for Michael Myers' return as Michael Myers escapes from a psych ward. And then, of course, there comes another Halloween night where Michael goes on a killing spree. Okay, Halloween 2018. This is a reboot / sequel, the real sequel to Halloween from 1978. And of course, you all know what my thoughts are on Halloween. I just reviewed that, the original Halloween. I just reviewed that a few days ago. I think it's fine. Not my favorite John Carpenter movie, but you know, it gets the job done perfectly fine. So what do I think of Halloween 2018? I do think the original Halloween is a better movie than this. There's some things that this movie I think improves on the original Halloween, but then there's other things where it's not done quite as well as the original Halloween, because of course this movie's directed by David Gordon Green. He's mainly known for comedy and drama movies. This was his first attempt at horror, and I will say he doesn't do that bad of a job. But yeah, you can tell this is from a filmmaker that's getting their first shot at horror. And we'll get to that in the flaws at some point. Let's talk about the pros. Jamie Lee Curtis is great in this movie for the amount of screen time that she actually gets. Because you know from the marketing, it's all about Jamie Lee Curtis. She's preparing for Michael, and it's leading up to an end of the trilogy showdown. And of course, she gets a little showdown in this movie with Michael. That's not really the focus of this movie, even though it really should have been. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is really good in this movie. I think her performance is terrific. I think she's been acting for decades already by the time this movie came out, and comparing her performance from the original to this, you can definitely see a drastic improvement, and I really did enjoy her in the original Halloween as well. Also, Michael Myers is really fun to watch in this movie. Although there's some kills that are not anything special, which is par for the course for a lot of Halloween movies, but there are a couple of them where I'm like, damn, that was awesome. Especially this one certain kill near the end of the movie. It's a curb stomp, and it is glorious. So bloody, so brutal. It was amazing. And as far as I know, it was done practically too. And yeah, the effect looked great. The gore looked awesome. And this is not a gory movie for the most part, but there are a couple times where it lets the gore shine through, and it is chef's kiss. There are also some scenes in this movie where the tension really gets to shine through. I'll get to some of that in the flaws, because I'll just explain it when I get there, but there are some scenes where there is some genuine tension, and there's one scene in particular, it's in I think it's a gas station or something, and when Michael goes into this bathroom, and this one podcaster is hiding in a stall. That scene is easily the most tension-filled scene in the movie, and it's kind of fucked up too, especially when Michael drops some teeth on the floor in the bathroom stall. I'm like, I wish more of this movie had stuff like that. It was so well done. I was like, damn, there are times in this movie where David Gordon Green is really impressing me with the directing. It is great. I loved it. And I got to talk about the great musical score in this movie too. John Carpenter helped do the musical score, and it is great. That's one thing I love about John Carpenter, is when he does musical scores, he never disappoints. I don't think I've ever heard a bad John Carpenter musical score. And of course, there's a couple of other people doing the musical score as well, but you can tell John Carpenter lent a big hand in creating the musical score in this movie, and it is great to hear. It was awesome to hear in the movie theater when I saw this in theaters back in 2018. But yeah, it always impresses me every time I watch this movie. And now we get to my flaws, because I do enjoy this movie enough. I do not think it's a great movie though. There's great aspects about it, but there's also some things that really fall short. First off, the writing. There's a certain point in the movie where there's this character. He's supposed to be like the new Dr. Loomis. He's introduced in the opening scene, and then yeah, you get to see him every once in a while throughout the movie, and there's this certain twist that happens, and I thought it was so fucking stupid. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? It's like out of nowhere, and I thought it was so poorly executed. I really hated it, but it did lead to the best death in the whole movie, so a little bit of kind of a mixed bag there, but I'm mostly leaning on the negative side because it's just such a dumb twist. I hated it. There is also a lot of very unnecessary and very unfunny humor in this movie. I did expect there to be some humor in this movie because Danny McBride is one of the writers of this movie. I'm like, yeah, it's the same Danny McBride that was in a few Seth Rogen movies years ago. But yeah, you can. But yeah, he's not bringing his A game when it comes to the humor in this movie because the humor is not funny in this movie, and there's way too much of it. It kind of detracts from the tension in this movie, and I gotta mention, there's a stunning lack of tension in this movie. Like, yeah, there's some scenes like I think like I'm pretty sure it was a gas station as far as I can remember. That's early on in the movie. That scene was great. The opening scene was great, and the final act when Laurie and Michael are about to have their final showdown in the movie, that scene was very well done. But throughout most of this movie, there's no suspense. There's a huge lack of tension. It tries to have atmosphere, but it doesn't really work. That's why I think it kind of shows that David Gordon Green is very inexperienced when it comes to horror filmmaking. And I know there's some people that pulled it off, like Jordan Peele, for example. His first movie, his first horror movie, Get Out, is his best of the ones that he directed so far, and that was his first horror movie too. And he's a comedian. But yeah, when it comes to this, yeah, you can definitely tell he didn't have the same kind of knack for horror that someone like Jordan Peele did on their first shot. But yeah, overall, I do enjoy Halloween 2018 just fine. It's a perfectly fine slasher. It's not going to win any awards for like a ton of great kills and creativity, and there's some major flaws in this movie, but the stuff that this movie gets right, really, it really does get right. And yeah, yeah, it's not it's not a well-written movie. It's not always the best directed movie, but when the direction shines, it really shines. Plus, this movie had the balls to kill a kid early on in the movie too, so I gotta give it credit for that. But yeah, if you're just looking for a perfectly fine installment in this franchise, Halloween 2018 will fit the bill just fine. It's a perfectly decent way to kill an hour and 40 minutes. It's a suitably okay Halloween movie. Just don't expect anything absolutely incredible. But yeah, if you just yeah, just I don't know. I just don't want to keep repeating myself here. It's fine, just like the original in my opinion. I am going to give Halloween 2018 a B minus.